be nice to yourself.
Yes.
Ooh. That's a big one. Like, be kind to yourself.
We are the
It's
worst.
okay to have a hard time every once in a while. And it's like okay to like sit in that and like be okay with it and be nice to yourself about it and don't beat yourself up.
Yeah.
Welcome to Keeping Tabs. I'm Tabitha Crock, and every Monday I talk to someone here in North Idaho with the goal to connect more people in the Coeur d'Alene area. And then every Friday I talk to someone outside the community to bring in a new perspective and to learn a little bit about yourself.
So this is my first episode in person. I am at Blue Shell in downtown Coeur d'Alene, East Sherman. Super pumped to talk to these people, especially one of my best friends from high school, Kootenai kids, obviously another Kootenai kid, and then a Arizona kid is what I found out. So I've got Patrick and Nicole and Katie with me at Blue Shell. So first of all, tell us about this amazing business and what you guys are up to. Katie.
Well, it's been a long time coming, actually. We've been talking about this for quite a few years now. We grew up super nerds. All we really had was video games. Growing up in the middle of kind of nowhere out by Carlin Bay. So really started kind of ramping up once I spent a lot of time in Seattle. I was working over there. And it's just kind of an idea we've been bouncing back and forth based on, Nicole's and Patrick's experience with game bars or nerd bars where they lived over there. So just kind of snowballed from there, and the COVID challenges, right, have presented a lot of commercial, space for, sale. So it's kind of the perfect opportunity to jump on the idea and start it. And it's definitely something we needed here in town. It's something we felt we needed, at least.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're on East Sherman, which is awesome. It's right next to my favorite barbecue place. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
So Nicole, I guess you guys are nerds, which I love about you guys. And you guys have obviously arcade games. They got board games, games inside the bar. Why not just a bar? Why a game bar? Why this niche?
Yeah, so I think the whole concept of the games was for something to bring people together around. So if you think about it as kind of like the gathering place and an activity for people to partake in together, rather than just going out and drinking for the sake of drinking, which is totally fine.
Which is fine.
Do that too. Yeah. But the idea of bringing like-minded people together, coordinating an event, an activity, something that people can enjoy, and then really also just helping to facilitate people meeting each other who are interested in the same thing. So maybe you're really interested in playing Gloomhaven, but it's a crazy intense game and you don't really have a bunch of friends who are super into it. Maybe we can find those people for you.
I'm like, Gloomhaven, what? Excuse me.
Yeah.
No, because I came here on Friday and we brought our board game we were excited about and there was no space, but we just asked the people to move over, and they moved over, and then they left, and then this other two guys came over and they're like, oh, you're playing Ticket to Ride. And I was like, yeah, we need two people. They're like, can we play? And it was so cool to meet these two people we would have never met because they saw we were playing a game and we needed the extra players. So
That's exactly what we want.
I mean, it was magic.
Awesome.
Patrick, why the name Blue Shell?
So we landed on the Blue Shell after several days. Originally, we went through a couple iterations. So we were going to originally call it Barcade. That was trademarked, and then we're gonna do Barcade with the spelling ID at the end, but it was super confusing for people when we tried using it, so they thought it was Barca, Idaho.
Yeah, it looks kind of dumb when we try to put it
Yeah,
out.
so we spent 2 days of just spitballing a bunch of names, and we had some that were a little too focused on gaming, and so we were afraid that if we went that route, then people who weren't necessarily into Dungeons and Dragons would be kind of deterred from coming in, which we didn't want. Everyone's welcome here, So the Blue Shell, it's one of those just kind of ambiguous things. If you know, you know. If you have a history of playing Mario Kart, you know what the Blue Shell is. But if you don't know, it's not really going to deter you from coming in and checking it out, right?
Exactly, because Dungeons and Dragons, if I said that, I would be like, oh, I wouldn't be welcome there because I have no idea.
Yeah, a lot of people feel kind of disassociated with the idea of our bar if they think it's a Dungeons and Dragons bar. It will definitely distance them.
I know you hear rattling off D&D dice, and I was like, what are D&D dice?
It's not what we want. We want everyone to come in,
But we also want Dungeons and Dragons.
But we do.
Yeah, we also do want Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, we want all of that. We want all
excited. And like, but you get on any of these games and it's just all of that. Like, I remember going to a pizza place and I'm like playing Pac-Man, and I was in here and I was like, I want to play. I want to keep playing. Bring your quarters.
We do have a change
We do
machine.
have,
I know.
ATM and a change
Yeah,
machine,
I love
so.
So I know, Katie, you love this community. You're really involved and you love. But Nicole, like, what do you love about the Coeur d'Alene, North Idaho community?
Yeah, so I think for me, I mean, obviously I grew up out here, right? So there's that hometown, like, just feel to it. I think it's a really unique, very cool space, and the city is beautiful, and there's a lot of really lovely outdoor spaces. But in the wintertime, I feel like it's a little challenging to be here sometimes because there's not as much to do unless you're super into skiing and stuff like that, which I particularly am not a winter sports fan. And so the idea of creating a space, again, that gives you somewhere to go and an activity to do sort of in those off season, the off months when it's not beautiful out, I felt like was a really cool idea and something that was a little bit lacking here.
It's so true too, because it is. It's like you're downtown or you want to be in a patio, but like when it starts to get cold, we're heading inside.
Sure.
And you guys, I mean, they have tables that are massive that you can play like biggest games you could think of on these tables and fit. Feels like 100 people around there. You know what I mean? And so I love that. I love that thought. Is
It's
like,
kind of
hey,
cozy.
when it gets cold outside or the weather starts to change, you can't go sit on the patio and play, I don't know, beer pong or something. You come in here and play all your other games.
And the community's really tight. I mean,
Mhm.
everyone in the community kind of knows each other, and everyone in the community cares about, the community. And I feel like we want to add to that. We think that we can help develop that as
Right.
well.
And our community's changing. We're getting all this new people in coming from like Seattle. And I bet they're going, oh, you guys don't have a gaming bar, but it is. It's something
Yeah.
so different. I mean, I went to Spokane and they have an arcade place, but this is so unique because it does have every aspect of gaming.
Right.
I'm just speaking nerds.
That was pretty intentional too.
They're like, yes, we know.
Yeah.
The few places that we went to in Seattle, right, it was either fully video game arcade focused or it was tabletop game focused, and we found the issue was we would go play some arcade games, and then after a couple hours, you just kind of want to like sit and like play a card game or something, and so those spaces didn't really have spaces for you to do that. And then kind of the opposite was true. You go to a place that's primarily like board game focused. You wrap up a game, but you don't necessarily want to leave. So you can come play arcades, and I've seen people do that. The guys would like start the night playing Magic, and then by the end of the night they're sitting there playing Gauntlet Legends to wrap up before they headed out. So it kind of just breaks up that not monotony, but kind of gives you a little like variety between the two.
Well, and I think the other part of that too is that, like, again, we love gaming of pretty much all sorts. So when it came time to decide, like, okay, like what kind of bar are we gonna have? We're like, how are we supposed to pick?
Yeah, like if I were going into a game bar, I would want all of these things.
Yeah.
Right.
And if I was going one, I would want all these arcade, pinball, like that can challenge someone.
Yeah.
But how many board games do you guys have? They have like a wall of board games over there.
I
I
haven't
haven't actually counted them.
Yeah.
It's in the ballpark of 120 or 100.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And it keeps.
And a lot of them are classic games. I mean, we've got Yahtzee,
One of my
cribbage.
favorites.
Yeah,
Clue.
we have all the games. We have Clue. Yes.
Uno.
Who doesn't love a good game of Clue?
I mean, there was a couple of them last night. They started out with something and then ended up landing on Clue.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Patrick, so if someone's opening a bar or a restaurant or something along these lines, what's a piece of advice you would give them before they're starting to like, you guys, I mean, and they did everything from construction to point of sale to picking out the right drinks, everything. So what's a piece of advice you give to a new business owner?
Just expect it to take about 10 times as long as you anticipated. I'd say mainly, I think the thing that got us is just the building in general. Be aware of your electrical and your plumbing, and make sure that you have all your backflows accounted for as you add more and more water lines.
I would say planning. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, like we came into this having an idea of what we needed, but obviously being totally new at this, we weren't 100% sure, and so it sort of evolved along the way, and that created a whole host of challenges.
Yeah, being your own
adding
contractor.
plumbing.
Not recommended.
Yeah, doing it piecemeal was
Yes,
provided a lot of challenges that could have been avoided had we
Yeah.
laid it out a bit
Yeah.
better first.
But we overcame that. But yeah, for sure, I would agree. Plan more, add more time to your schedule, and be patient.
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't rush it. I mean,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, right? You want to be open, but you also want a quality product. And if you don't put that extra effort in, I think it kind of will show in the final product, and people, you don't want to give someone a par experience.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great way. So I have some fun questions for you guys. Katie,
Yeah.
if you had a billboard and it was downtown or like on Northwest, or like a busy street, what would the billboard either have or say on it?
For our business or
No,
personal?
this is anything
Oh
you've
my
ever
God.
want. This is about you.
Oh, this is hard.
Would you paint this mural? So I'm not going to show the mural so that you guys have to come and
Yeah,
see
you have to
it
come see it.
because it is amazing. It's amazing.
If I had a billboard, oh boy. That's so hard because I don't put myself out there
I
very much.
know.
You know what I mean? I
You
kind
can
of.
put the business
I'm
on
a
there,
little
but I
more
feel like you
reserved.
had like Monty Python. I feel like
Oh
it would be super
man,
nerdy.
oh yeah, so it would probably, hold on, let me think.
You know, that's how I feel
Like
about
your
billboards.
favorite
They don't have to be
things.
about business. It can be about just bringing joy to the world.
Oh man, I just say probably bring out your dead.
Bring out the
Bring
dead.
out your dead.
That's one nerdy thing I know. Because of you. She made us watch it in high school.
But then I would have drink game repeat at the bottom.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, and I would make it about the bar too.
I love it. I love it. So, Nicole, what is a life lesson you have learned the hard way through your life?
Which one?
Which life or which lesson?
Lesson.
I feel like we all have like my lives.
We all have a lot.
Goodness. Yeah. I mean, there's probably a lot of them. I'm trying to think if I can think of like one thing.
Just pick one. Something pivotal.
Come back to me.
I'll come back to you. Right, I'm gonna do a question for all.
I have one.
Oh, you do? Of course you do.
Don't burn bridges.
Ooh.
Ever. Be nice to everybody, treat everybody the same.
And that's
I've
a
learned
great
a
one.
ton from the way I treat people. It's actually a big reason why, we're here. So, yeah.
That's
That's a
that's
good
a great point. And I think that's a great point to also the community is that everyone's connected here and everyone knows everyone. So if you kind of burn a bridge or disrespectful to someone, that could be the mayor's son, that could be someone like as an investor.
You
that
could
could
miss
be-
your next job opportunity because the person interviewing you knows you from a horrible past.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
That's a great point. Great point. Did you think of one?
I mean, I'm like the money person, so of course I'm like,
You have financial,
Yeah.
you have
That's all I got.
Financial
so I'm like,
responsibility.
live within your means, but like,
That's good.
I don't know.
Yes.
It doesn't
No, that's
apply
a
to
great,
me,
that's a,
things
no, but
relates
that's
to
a
the
great
business
point though,
really,
like,
but-
I mean, if someone asked me that question, I'd probably been like, investing earlier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that would be something I would have told myself, like,
Sure.
looking back and being like, I wish I would have done
College
this.
age.
Start, exactly.
Right.
So I have a question for all of you, start with Katie, is if you had, since we're in a gaming bar, if you had, and I know your love for superheroes, what would be the one superhero, superpower you would have?
Oh boy. Definitely Bruce Wayne, all the money in the world.
Is that really a superpower?
All right, well, there's that one. Honesty, I love it. Not what I was expecting, which I
It is a
love.
superpower.
Yes, it is.
I would pick like super strength probably,
Ooh, yeah.
because I don't know.
Especially after probably doing this whole thing. you'd be
Yeah.
like, I wish I could have pulled it up like this wall while I painted
Exactly.
this.
Yes.
Put the beam up there by yourself.
And like to never have to ask somebody to open a jar for me.
Yeah, because you're just like,
This one is not proud at all.
Wow.
I don't need help.
I said,
I got super strength. I'm gonna open this jar of spaghetti sauce.
Totally.
I love it. So Patrick, superhero.
I
or
would
superpower.
stop time for sure, just so I can catch up on sleep.
I just like enjoy the moment. You're like, I need
No.
some sleep.
Just get a few more winks.
That is a good one. God, the time one's a good one.
So favorite bar in town that's not your own.
Oh, I used to work at the Tootsie Pine. I love it. It's still my favorite place. Mainly just because of the people.
Community.
You know, the bartenders are great there. I know the owner, he's a good friend of mine. That makes a huge part of
Yeah.
where I enjoy to hang out, so for sure there.
So you mean local bars are your favorite?
I mean, I have sort of a soft spot for Rusty's because
So
of
Shout out to Rusty's for making some of our Fridays challenging.
Tits. So we started this thing called Tits, which is thirsty.
No, it's
terrible
terrible.
idea Thursdays. Sorry.
Thirsty
Thursdays. Terrible idea Thursdays is when we go to Rusty's and sing
because the next
karaoke.
day is terrible.
And then we would stay up until 2 a.m. and still have to get up for our day jobs and work.
on Wednesdays.
Oh yeah,
On
Thursdays.
Thursday nights.
Thursdays.
So
Yeah,
Friday.
So Thursday night
So you
and
have,
Friday
like,
we
Friday
feel like
scares.
Yeah. So we would wake up on Friday and be like, Tits. Thanks, Kelly Jo.
So do you have a favorite?
We've been so busy, so I haven't like really gone to outside of Rusty's and Tipsy.
Yeah.
Like the irregular's been tough, but like, I mean, probably the one that I want to get out to more is like Trickster. Their little brewery
Yeah.
is great. It's like a great little spot. So
Yeah, I'm a brewery fan too.
Yeah.
Although,
We like all the
I
breweries.
also really like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Right,
Crap,
Crafted, or
Yeah.
like Jack Badger, because they have such a,
Yeah.
they have such a.
That
Yeah,
Badger.
that
I wish they,
Badger's
I was telling them the other day, I wish you distributed because we'd love to have your beer.
Right.
But they're so
So good.
busy. Yeah.
So good.
Also shout out to Paragon.
And yeah, Paragon's, Paragon, they're all Paragon Trails and
Yeah.
Post
They're
Falls.
so awesome.
Yeah, we got a lot of good, really good brewers in town.
We had like our first like business meeting type deal
At
at
Post Falls.
Post Falls.
Yeah, that's how what I do with like, I'm like, let's meet here.
Yeah, it's good for the
Business,
community.
yeah.
And here's the thing, that's kind of our thing too. We carry the majority of our beers from local breweries
I
in
love
town, in Coeur and in Post Falls, on purpose, because we support each other. You know, I don't wanna buy from Portland or Seattle if I don't have to. We have perfectly good beer here, why would I?
And even like Spokane, because
Right.
that's a great segue and goes, I was gonna ask you guys is that I got this text message from many people like, how was the bar, what's it like? And I kind of told them about it. And then they're like, they wanna know if you guys have liquor. And I was like, no, they don't have liquor, they have beer and wine, but tell us about these fun cocktails.
Canned cocktails.
Yes.
Okay, so this was fun. We
I
got
know
together.
you're excited about this.
Okay, so I've been a bartender for a long time,
Right.
obviously, and Patrick has as well. So we are used to, and I've worked everywhere from fine dining, where you make the fanciest of cocktails, to like Rusty's, where you're just like slinging Michelob Ultras all day.
Yeah,
And we knew not having a liquor license was gonna be a little bit of a challenge for us. So we took these canned cocktails, and they're not malt cocktails, they're legitimate cocktails that are canned.
and they're
For anyone who has like an aversion to like malt beverages, that's important to note.
Yeah.
It's not malt beverage, it's like
So where are these from too?
So these are from 10 Barrel Salt Flats.
Off the clock.
Off the clock. So we have a few different places that we pull from, and we can make almost any drink imaginable with these. So what we do, we got together at my house and we tested out our air fryers for our bites, and then we made our cocktails. We made all these concoctions and we tried all the drinks. And so we ended up just taking the canned cocktails, muddling things, squeezing things, making them cute and fancy, making them taste better. So they actually really taste
The
good on
jalapeno margarita.
Oh yeah, the
Obsessed.
get toasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good one. So we gussy them up to where you don't feel like it's coming from a can. We don't
Right.
serve it in a can.
I feel like if we presented them to someone who didn't see us make them, they would not
They would
know
not know.
that they came out of a can.
And we have a lot of options. We have a couple of vodka sodas that are not sweetened at all. I had a girl come in the other day. It's like, I don't like them, they're too sweet. I'm like, yeah, but have you had the vodka soda ones? Because they're literally just a hint of lemongrass with vodka and soda. It's not sweet at all.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we have a little something for everybody.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Patrick, favorite game of all time? Any, it could be card game, it could be arcade game.
Man, this is.
I know, it's hard one.
I
There's
know.
so many. I'll just have to go with what I've played recently, and that would be Destiny 2, because I've probably vlogged more hours in that than I care to admit. There's a like a tracker of like how many hours you put in. I think I have something like, if I played 24 hours a day for like 34 days straight, that's how many hours I put in.
That's a
So
lot.
so dumb.
Favorite game?
Of all time,
Yes.
Final Fantasy VIII,
Oh,
probably.
Which is so weird because I tried playing that the other day. I'm like, this is boring.
Some people hate it. I don't know
It's all
why.
about seven.
It's my thing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's so like old. When we were kids, we played Final Fantasy VIII, and it was like the height of technology. The graphics, everything. So it was like, whoa, this is amazing. Because we're used to like top-down Zelda on the Super Nintendo. You know, so we were like, oh my gosh, this is so great. Now you play a game, it's like sensory freaking overload. You go back to the old ones, like, wow, this is crazy.
This is terrible.
Yeah, but
I still love it.
yeah, they're good. The classic games are good for sure.
So are you, so what's yours?
Any Zelda ever. It's always my favorite.
That makes
And
sense.
the most recent Breath of the Wild, which is maybe one of my favorites.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Katie, if you could have dinner with anybody dead or alive, who would it be?
Oh my god, impossible. Why do you do this? Oh my gosh, impossible. That's really hard.
Impossible.
I'm gonna say it's a tie between Da Vinci and Maynard from Tool. Leo Da Vinci
How did we become friends?
or Maynard James Keenan. One of the two. It's like right there.
All right. Dead or alive, who would you have dinner with?
Dead or alive. Would they be dead when I'm having dinner with them? Because that'd be weird.
Yeah,
That'd be
that would
zombie.
weird.
It'd be like having the weekend at Bernie's thing.
That was funny. That post was funny wherever I saw that.
I don't know.
Love making people think on the spot.
This is a good one.
Patrick, you have one?
Uh,
Let her think for a couple seconds.
yeah, I probably I'd be interested in meeting and sitting down with Claudio.
I was gonna say
Damn
that.
it.
Damn it, I should have gone first.
Who is this?
Claudio Sanchez, he's the lead singer of
Coheed.
Cambria.
Sorry.
Damn you.
It's alright, we can have
We can share. It'd
we
be
have the whole band there.
it'd be like a double date,
Oh, there you
you
go.
know.
She's like, still, you took mine.
That's what you get for not speaking up.
Oh, no, I know who.
Who?
What's his butt that made magic?
Richard Garfield. Yeah, that'd be
See,
good.
that's what I would, so I would be
What's-
somebody who's like an
That's a good
inventor.
one. What's his butt?
Well, someone brought up like Dwayne Hagen on the other day, and I was like, you know what, I would love to pick his brain.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
would
since
be.
he had like just passed away, I'd be like, that man was, I mean, he went to college for 6
He
months.
built an empire.
Right.
And then was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a paper boy, I'm gonna start all this stuff, and I'm like,
Yeah,
That's
without an
crazy.
education,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
like, that's
Pretty
pretty amazing.
so it's inspirational. For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if someone told you, like, this 10 years ago, let's see, what I was gonna say is, what's one thing you wish you would have known 10 years ago?
Oh my gosh.
So what, 30s, 30,
I think
20.
right. Oh my gosh, there's so many things.
20 years old.
I think you know the answer to this. Let's see. I think I wish I would have known how much harder life gets the older you get. It doesn't get easier. You know what I mean? Like when you're young, you kind of assume things are just gonna get easier. They really don't. Like, I think that if I would have known that, I would have been better prepared for my life, which, you know, my life was great, don't get me wrong, but it maybe would have been a little easier, you know, having that expectations.
Great point, yeah. But you,
All right, so fine.
wait, I was waiting for
Ah!
it.
All right.
Bitcoin.
That was great.
We wouldn't need this
I
bar
was
if we
like,
had invested in Bitcoin.
oh, no, the bar would have been built
Bitcoin,
like 5 years
Tesla,
ago.
Amazon.
We would have 5 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's be honest, you guys would already franchised it.
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
Damn it.
I like how I'm
I was
all
like so-
philosophical and you're like, Bitcoin.
Yep, we know who's the finance person.
Yeah.
Right.
Although her superpower was money.
Have all the money, yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah, I hate Bitcoin. I was so hard set that I didn't have a backup. I guess that, like, money isn't everything necessarily, especially, you know, life's too short, so it's sometimes not worth it to kill yourself to,
Right.
you know, make as much money as possible. I guess, you know, I'm learning that lesson now, and that's why we opened the bar, right? So I left my job so we can run this place full time and, you know, just be happier overall.
Yes,
Yeah.
quality of life, that's, yeah.
I know mine would be like knowing that housing changes. I would have
Oh,
invested
yeah.
in every
Yeah.
house and
Yeah.
been like, let's buy these
Oh, yeah.
random little like shacks that are going for $500,000.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Buying up all houses in Ballard 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And like, so this is kind of my last question is that, so it has been the craziest year. You guys have dealt with it. It has
Sure.
been, and now with living in this area, the housing is just through the roof. If you're wanting to like if you're new out of college and you're like have a family and you want to buy a house, it's not as easy as it was. And then with COVID and everything, everyone's kind of going through life craziness. what is one piece of advice you would give to someone maybe listening that's maybe mentally, physically, emotionally going through a tough time right now? I'll you go first.
Nothing is permanent. So weather the storm, the Taoists say, be like water, move over and through things with grace, because nothing's permanent. Everything changes all the time.
Such a good point.
Be nice to yourself.
Yes,
Ooh.
that's a good one.
Like, be kind to yourself.
We are
Because
the
it's
worst.
okay to have a hard time every once in a while. And it's like okay to like sit in that and like be okay with it and be nice to yourself about it and don't beat yourself up
Yeah,
about it.
I do too. I like that one. I wish I would feel
Well,
that.
it's with 3 people.
I mean, it's a little bit kind of just to Katie's point, right? Like life's all about ups and downs, and this is definitely down and it's rough, but like this too shall pass, and it'll get better. And just try to find things that even in the hard times you can look back like fondly on, and be able to laugh about.
I feel like you guys probably do that a lot. Like
We do.
like the blood, sweat, tears that went into this place. I mean, you can see that this was built with love and not just like a contractor.
Yeah.
We have a friend that got to have a contractor and do her whole business that way.
Mhm.
But like for you to be like, I was crying and painting that face. Like,
Right,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like, I just worked a 12-hour shift and I've done this and that instead of
Yeah.
you're able to say, and like I saw your dad and other significant other. Like it's just nice to like your friends.
It's labor of love for sure. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. Yeah, and we do have a bond. We've got a
I bet it's a whole
after-
different level
after
now.
what we've been through. Yeah.
So last thing, tell us how people get a hold of you, come find you, anything you want to tell the listeners.
You go.
You go. Yeah, you can find us at 1903 East Sherman Avenue, right next door to Relic Barbecue. Open at 2 on the weekdays and noon on the weekends. Easiest way to get a hold of us, though, is Facebook, Instagram. We're all pretty quick
It's
on the response.
the Blue Shell CDA on everything.
Yeah.
So Instagram, Instagram, Facebook, and
Our website,
It's
yeah.
all the Blue Shell CDA.
Yeah.
See our hours
Email.
posted. Eventually, we'll have a phone that works.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
email's the best route. So it's the blueshellcda@gmail.com. Our phone is currently not working, but we
We'll
will
fix that
soon. And then feel free to call me.
And if you guys have any ideas for events, if you want to join a game or if you want to learn how to play a game, stay in contact with us. We'll have lots of fun things coming.
Perfect. Well, thank you guys so very much. This was awesome.
Thanks for listening to Keeping Tabs. I'm Tabitha Crock, and every Monday I release a podcast about different community members here in North Idaho. And then we end the weeks on Fridays with a podcast about the things I'm passionate about: outdoors, adventures, sports, the van life, and even current events. So if you like what you heard, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube, Spotify, or iTunes. Thank you again. Now go be kind and do something great.